on the other side of this break talking money. Phil Bloyd's joining us with Lowcountry Money Talk here, and we have a lot to talk about.
Sure.
And Phil, you talked a little bit about what to do right now. So you can call, obviously, Revolutionary Financial Group, talk about a portfolio analysis, really find out where you are against the benchmark.
Sure.
That's important. I want to spend this segment, though, talking about those who are nearing retirement. I have a friend who is thinking about retirement and wondering if this is a bad time. Is it safe to retire? You know, there's a lot of unknowns out there,
Sure.
and I would love your expert advice.
I had the same thing happen to me recently. I had a person come in, and he's like, "Look, I'm retiring in the next 6 months, but I don't have to." And I'm like, "Okay, do you like your job?" He's like, "I've got it made there. They treat me good and this and that." I'm thinking about retiring from there and maybe go work at another place, part-time or this and that. And so we dug into it a little bit. I thought he needed a little more savings still, based upon what he was going to need for income and this and that. So as I started digging a little bit deeper down in there, Jessa, I'm like, okay, let's take a look at it. If we do go into a recession, now there's job openings all over the place now.
It's a good time for a job,
I think, I signed up for 10 different jobs on the way in. But anyway, if we go into that recession, and look, I'm going to use my guy as an example because it's fresh on my mind. So he's been working in this one organization for over 20 years.
Okay.
He's got it made. He can go to lunch whenever he wants, come and go. He's like top dog there.
Okay, that sounds great.
So he's like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and leave there, take my lump sum, put it in an IRA, then I'm going to go work somewhere else. I said, well, hey, wait a minute now. When you go work somewhere else, you're not the top dog anymore. You're the new guy. So if we go recessionary and all of those help wanted signs come down,
Right.
you're the new guy. What's going to happen to you?
Well, if they make a cut, you're probably first to go.
First to go.
Yeah.
So my thought with him was, let's give it maybe another year or two. First of all, I said, do you like your job?
Yeah, that's important.
And he's like, oh yeah, I love it. I've got it made. Everybody knows me. And I'm like, well, hey, would working a couple more years, would you be okay with that? Now, if you're miserable or something, that's different.
That might be a new conversation.
But in his case, he was like, yeah, I said, look, let's go a couple more years. Let's pay more attention, come in, let's review your 401k every now and then. Let's pay a little more attention to gearing towards retirement instead of, hey, I'm just going to retire.
Right. Don't make any snap decisions about that at this time, because to your point, if we do officially hit the recession, that could be problematic. Okay, so what about somebody who's already retired and thinking about what to do there, maybe jumping back into the workforce? I'm sure that, in some way they're either taking income or getting Social Security or some combination there. So give us some advice on that.
Okay, so there's some rules depending on your age. So if I've retired early and maybe I'm taking Social Security at 62, but I'm not full retirement age, which could be 66 in some months or later or whatever, I'm limited on how much money I can make before I get some chargebacks on my Social Security. So usually that's around $17,000. Check with the Social Security Administration for sure. So I have to be careful because I'm going to be limited. So if I'm taking a job and they say you have to work this much and this is how much you make, that could put some of your Social Security at jeopardy.
Right.
So I'm going to be careful with that. If we do go to work, just remember it could be short-lived, if we do have that recession, because then we get into layoffs and things like that. So knowing that, it wouldn't hurt to go
jump
and
back
do
in
that.
while you can, maybe.
That way, maybe I don't have to, if I'm taking money out of my investments, maybe I can push that off a bit.
It might be a good time to stick a little aside and, have that little bit of safety net.
I think so.
Okay, well, that's great advice. Lots to know there, and a lot of people in this situation wondering what to do.
Yeah.
We have one more segment with you, Phil, before we have to say goodbye, but don't worry, we got lots to cover. We're going to talk a little bit about IRAs and having to take distributions, so we'll get your expert advice after this break. Stick around.